Alright everyone, been a while since I posted a clip on this channel. Had a lot going on in my life, as I'm sure we all have. A few developments, quite a few for the better. So just wanted to talk about some observations that I've been making. I've been making these observations over the last several years, but predominantly coming to some real conclusions, at least to me, in the last year and a half and recent months, right? So the title of this clip, Are the Walking Dead Amongst Us? Is the zombie apocalypse here already? So first of all, some word analysis, right? So the word apocalypse does not mean what a lying Google search will show you as end of the world, end days, the apocalypse is amongst us. You need to search deeper, look further for more honest meaning, because what it actually means is lifting of the veil, revealing what's been hidden. Next, zombie. So zombie really is an allegory for soulless beings walking amongst us. Not flesh-eating entities, at least not yet anyway, but walking dead nonetheless, in the sense of loss of soul spark. So some might argue that the soul doesn't exist, but I believe the soul exists. I believe the spark of life that enters at conception and leaves the body at death is the soul, is the essence, is what gives us life. That is what I believe to be part of spirit, part of all that is, ever has been, right? Regardless of your thoughts on that, run with the idea that we all should have a soul, right? Soul is what gives us the zest to create, makes us individual, the spark that stands out, but want to interact, to mingle, to love, to laugh. Soul. So a zombie would be somebody who's soulless walking amongst us. A loss of soul spark, lacking in active consciousness, where they're actually at the driving seat of their life, making their choices, taking their decisions, making their choices, co-creating their experience here, as opposed to passively conscious, just following programming. So that lack of active consciousness that allows any soulful being to be interactive, humanly interactive with another soulful person. A lack of connection to source, to any elements of higher self. Inability to critically think for self, desperately needing to be led and to be told what to do next. So this would be my definition of a soulless being, a soulless person, using an allegory or analogy of the zombie, right? Such beings, such folk, people, are living in left brain, linear forward, mechanical existence that is driven by whatever the current programming dictates. Now there seems to be differing degrees to this loss of soul, disconnection to consciousness. There's levels to it. From the complete zombified, totally disconnected, with absolutely no facial expression other than a fluoride stare, dark, almost black blank eyes, with no obvious soul spark, clearly no zest for life. There's been certain terms for such folk, NPCs, non-player characters, or Dolores Cannon used to call them backdrop people, basically shirt fillers on a film set, with no key role to play in this simulation, game show. So outward appearing biologically exactly the same as us, but without that lit spark that makes life soulless, some might say. Just following whatever current narrative is in vogue, without question, encouraging you to do the same, with no thought to what anything actually really means in terms of consequences to any of us. Unable to see beyond the programming, lost, as if under a spell. Now, that example that I've just given you would be at the extreme end of one polarity. So one pole, there's that, the worst. And then there's a spectrum to the other end, which is somebody who's not like that, somebody who has a soul spark. So there's a spectrum in between, and that seems to be the different layers that I'm noticing. Maybe it's the gradual process that this takes. Maybe it's had an effect, whatever has created this soulless expression has had an effect, but not a full effect. Maybe the full effect will come. Maybe it takes time, who knows? Maybe some people are instantaneously zombified and others take a while to get there. Like I said, there are layers. Where you see in some spark, there is still some sparkle of life. There is still some desire, if you like, to spark up an interactive conversation with another person and have a laugh. So there you see a hint of active consciousness actually being human and interactive. You still see that. Maybe even some humour. Less than what I would have said several years ago would have been considered the norm in the way people humanly interact, but nonetheless you still see it, somewhat numbed. It's almost like it's still there like a dim light. And in some, it's clinging on for life. Folks seem less responsive to anything. Be it having a sense of humour, reacting to something emotionally triggering. Just human interaction seems so much more clinical nowadays. Clinical and mechanical in a lot of people now. It's almost as if, work with me here, right? Almost as if such folk, maybe all of us, have some kind of handler that stood there with a tablet that allows them to control everything about you. It's literally at the end of their fingertips. Settings that can literally be turned down or up, right? So it's like some have literally had turned down almost completely or completely human interactive response. Sense of humour, common sense, empathy for others, consideration. It's like these traits, attributes, call them what you want, or just want, let's turn those all down. Well, if that was so, what would you be left with? Conversely, it could work the other way. So let's turn up on this tablet emotional detachment, agitation, your ability to become agitated quickly. Let's turn up impatience. Let's turn up overreaction to things. You see where I'm going with this? Now, I've seen such changes in people that I have known a long time, and I've seen it happen gradually and others quite quickly. And I've also had a general observation of everyone around me whenever I've had to interact, and I've seen clear signs of this also. Just people are less humanly interactive, less empathic, less caring, look at you blankly when you just normally ask them the time of day or try and strike up a conversation. Just no one in, like they left the building. And I see this whenever I have to cross paths and interact with people, which, to be honest, I seek to do at the bare minimum nowadays. Now, I don't believe in coincidences, but this kind of behaviour is really coming to fruition and is actually coming into its, what I would call, maximised state since the last 3 years. Coincidentally, the last 3 years since a certain medical procedure was imposed upon everyone. Well, everyone that was unable to say that magic word fucking no. Anyway, I'll move on. Now, if this in any way sounds absurd to you, I would say take off your blinkers. Just for a short period of time, become a student of human behaviour, or so-called human behaviour, and just take a look at the behavioural elements of people around you. Just do this for a short while. If you still don't see what I'm talking about, then chances are you are one of those folks that I'm talking about. You simply can't see it or won't see it. In which case, just what I'm saying is an observation. It doesn't make anything true. It's just an observation. Take it for what it is, and don't be offended. Or be offended, but get over it. If, however, what I'm saying to you has or does in some way resonate with your own observations, then no, you're not crazy, because others see it too. Right, so I'm going to give you a couple of personal examples, right? So over the last few weeks, we have been travelling about a bit, seeing some places, and one of the places that we went to was the old capital of England, Winchester, which I'm familiar with. A place of wealth and so-called academia, you might say. And yet here, I witnessed the highest level of set disconnection in people than I've seen in most places. It's everywhere, but this place in particular, rivaled by the New Forest possibly, in certain areas, not all, but in the Winchester city centre that I saw and the surrounding area and the time I spent there over a few days, my observation showed me that the majority of people that I crossed paths with, 95%, fit this category of what I've been trying to describe to you, of not in, no one's there, soul spark missing. Trust me when I tell you, I strive to try and interact. It's a use it or lose it thing. So I would always strive to try and strike up a conversation, create a spark of interest, something that gives a glimmer of light so you can see it in their eyes or not. And I didn't see it anywhere. Everyone that I come across seemed in some way or another to have already left the building. From there we travelled to the West Country, down through Devon and Cornwall, a place I frequent a lot because I love in fact. Now here, folks have always been known for being very friendly and warm and welcoming. Not everyone, of course, not everyone everywhere, that's never the case. But generally on the whole, people from the West Country are known to be friendly, right? Another term you might use might be soulful, warm, happy to strike up a human interaction with another soulful person, for no other reason other than it's nice to do so. Remember that? Now I can only speak from my own observation and personal experience, but the folks that I've come across here, to me at least, and to my wife, seem in the main to be chatty, friendly, still actively conscious, still soulful, still what you would call the natural way in which we used to humanly interact. And literally most places that we go to eat, we've eaten out. The food has been lovely. The atmosphere has been lovely. The service has been friendly. The food is lovely. Freshly made, local produce, made with love, or at least a degree of care and attention, certainly missing in most places that you go to eat nowadays. Such care and attention is evident in the way the food looks, the presentation, and how great it tastes. It's literally pretty much everywhere we've gone to eat. Now, one place we've been to a few times, there are actually people in the kitchen singing to the radio. Happy, having a laugh, interacting, enjoying their work, enjoying what they're doing. So that's the atmosphere in which the food is being made, and the food looks lovely and tastes great. So I would say that's made with love, made with care and attention. made by someone who's still sentient, still conscious, still actively conscious, still got a soul. Not some NPC, left brain driven, go forward, get do mechanism, mechanical construct. The people behind the counter actually talk to you, strike up a conversation, have a human interaction, just like we were designed to do. Now this of course is not so everywhere in Cornwall or Devon. You go to many places, you'll find a large number of the kind of folks that I'm talking about. So the soulful ones are in the minority. In every area that you go, you will find degrees of that. There are a large number of people in the same areas taking up the same space that are disconnected, that fit snugly into the category of blank stare, wide-eyed, not really here on a conscious level. Now I've seen this everywhere I've been over the last 2 years, and I'm including trips abroad to other countries. So this is a thing. Look for yourself, others have said it, do your research. Start paying attention to people around you. Start with those closer to you. Have you observed any behavioural changes? It may have been gradual, it may be gradual. Something in the back of your head that now you might look at, or it might be an instant, completely out of character. People just overreacting, completely out of character to the way they would have normally reacted. And that quite often now has become an aggressive behaviour. Either way, the seed is planted now, so you'll know it when and if you see it. Hearing people laugh out loud around you, or seeing two people displaying a show of affection, seems to be happening a lot less than I remember in former years. Soulful people are still amongst us, of course, and I'm going to call them that as an example, right? So when I say soulful people, I mean somebody that is expressive, that is passionate, that will show how they feel, that show their emotions with control, but show compassion, care, love, empathy, a zest of want for betterment. And angry and depressed too, they're all part of our emotions if we're fully conscious people, but you know what I mean? Just the interactive spark that says, life is within me, seems less than I remember in former years. They're in the minority. What I see now in the majority are shirt fillers on a film set, backdrop people, or extras on the Truman Show. Now, those of you that have watched my clips or this channel before know my views on certain things. So you may also know that 4 months ago, we lost our little French bulldog, Daisy, and it broke my heart into pieces. 4 months later, after a lot of thought and deliberation, we decided to get another little Frenchie, a puppy, to in some way allow us to feel a tiny bit of that void, that massive hole that was left when our Daisy went suddenly. She's only 4 years old. Nothing will ever replace my beautiful Daisy ever. Nothing will ever fill the hole in our hearts because of that, because they're really talking about grief and loss. I've never experienced it to that degree ever in my life before. Well, not within this realm and existence of understanding and remembering anyway. I truly believe part of me died that day. Nonetheless, there is a need now to focus on another little soulful spark. Because that dog was the epitome of what I'm talking about, soulful expression, soul spark. The soul spark that gives life to the vehicle that you happen to be in, be it a dog, cat, an animal, human being, so-called human being, whatever. This is just a vehicle. The spark that gives you life is the soul. And the soul expression of, and the personality within that little dog was a great example of what I'm talking about. And we wanted to apply our attention to another little individual soul spark. So we bought this beautiful little French bulldog, 3 months old, female, called Molly. And she's cute, and for me it was love at first sight. Now we've had her just almost a week, and we picked her up from Winchester. That's one of the reasons that we were there at that time. and from a lovely family who a gorgeous little French bulldog that had a litter of 9. Now, after spending a day on my mate's farm, who lives close by in Winchester, we decided to take Molly out, and we went into Winchester City Centre, and we wanted to find a pet shop to get her a new harness, and then we were going to go for some lunch, right? So, unintentionally, this turned into a social experiment that relates exactly now to what I've been talking about. When we come out of the pet shop, we walked through the streets of Winchester to find a cafe. Couldn't find a dog-friendly place, so we had to sit outside. But found this cafe, and en route to finding this cafe, we must have passed 100 people. Some elderly folks, men and women, some men and women of all ages, a whole bunch of kids, and at one point a family, mum, dad, 3 kids. Out of that 100+ people that walked past us, there were 2 little expressions from an old lady and another old lady that said, "Oh, lovely puppy, how cute," and kept walking. But mate saw her on my shoulder being carried and made eye contact. "Oh," and then looked on. She's facing outward. Everyone can see. We're interacting, and we're interactive in the space with people to the point where we've got to walk around them, or they've got to walk around us, yield gently, where contact has been made, etc. So they can see us. And out of 100+ people, including an entire family with 3 young kids, who looked right at her, there was nothing. It was just blank. The experiment continued. We've got to the restaurant, cafe. We're sat back to the wall, just people watching. My wife's got Molly on her lap, and she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. In fact, see for yourself. I mean, she's just adorable. Absolutely adorable. So far up to this point, nothing, no human interaction. The waitress comes out, take her order. Molly's on B's lap, looking out right at her, most snorting, making little puppy sounds. Looked right at her, nothing, not an expression. This continued while we were sat outside. And literally hundreds of people walking past. And we were sat so that people would see. So like I said, turned into a social experiment. And only one old man come up and went, "Oh, can I say hello?" One. Out of scores of people that walked past. And the majority of them, were in eye path. They made eye contact. They looked right at her. They're just walking along, running their own programming. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm a pretty private person, and I like to remain within my own social circle. I have absolutely no need for the attention of others. Nor do I need any confirmation from anyone to tell me that my dog is cute. So that's not what this is about. And again, this is just an observation. But you tell me, in terms of that behaviour, is that fucking normal? Is that the normal you remember growing up? Okay. So what my observation also tells me is that the liars at the cult-owned Google search engine, who estimate the current world population at 8.1 billion people, in spite of the recently imposed genocide, are again fucking lying. Because to me, a true human being is only so because of that soul spark. The only person that person qualifies as a human being is because the soul spark entered that skin suit and is what gives it life, expression, in the true sense, meaning of the word. Now, of course, this is just my personal thoughts on the matter. My personal thoughts on the matter. No one knows anything for sure. No one knows, including me, if the what I am talking about here is absolute. But as far as my sense of knowing goes for me, I feel it so. Now, I'm not looking for anyone to agree with me, nor do I care about anyone else's opinion. We're all on our own journey here. But for me, to be a true human being as part of a population on this planet, regardless of what that true number of population is, it certainly does not include, at least in my book, soulless beings, shirt fillers on a film show that are here as extras, backdrop people, non-player characters. It does not include them because they are written into this simulation for other reasons, and that isn't what creation intended for soul. I personally don't believe. It does not include shirt fillers on the film set of this simulation. So to me, this just shows me more than ever that we are indeed in a spiritual battle, seeking to extinguish as many soul sparks as possible. And so far they seem to be doing pretty fucking well at it. For those of us that still have that soul spark intact, there is a need now to be seriously vigilant, to be seriously switched on and aware of how you respond to all stimuli offered to you. As this script unfolds and the data is fed to you, you need to pause and assess. We need to pause and assess how we respond to everything we receive in terms of data and incoming script for every day that we have left walking this earth. We need to be soulfully aware and know as we constantly self-audit our thoughts as they're coming in. Are they our thoughts? Are they coming from a heartfelt space? Or are they just dormant programs that we've just been running unconsciously? Or in other words, are your thoughts coming from a place with you in control at the seat driving, or someone else or something else? Are you just running background programs on a loop? Are the feelings that you're feeling coming from a heartfelt space, or are they created by thoughts that are not your own and of no use to you? Because remember, how you think affects how you feel affects what you do affects the results you get back. So are the thoughts you're having, are the feelings that you're having, are they your responses to stimuli that comes your way coming from you, the soulful you, the best version of you, higher part of you, if you like? Or are they simply engineered expressions coming from someone or something else? As crazy as this sounds, I truly believe within this spiritual battle, this war for soul, which we've been in a while now, we are under constant psychic attack on so many levels. Literally every turn, literally there is no stone left unturned. There is a dark, unseen force that's been talked about forever by many, many different cultures, separated by many years and many miles. And they all talk about the same thing. The great Archon, the Anunnaki, Satan, the Jinn, the great unseen, dark unseen force. They're all talking about the same thing. That dark parasitical entity that seeks to feed off of suffering, which they induce and impose. And the ultimate goal is to extinguish soul. That's what I believe. I'm not alone with that thinking. So this is a battle for soul. So the goal would be, I would say, is to fight to leave this realm with the soul still intact. I don't believe in the soul trap reincarnation thing anymore. For some reason, I just feel that this is the last time that this soul will be trapped here. In which case, if it's eternal and it goes on, then it goes back to all and everything. It's infinite. And if not, and that's wrong, then oh my God. You know, lights out, you're in peace. But I don't believe that. I believe the soul is eternal and it goes back to spirit and it goes on. And where it's supposed to be is a place of thrival. But nonetheless, the goal must be that you leave this realm, this time round, with your soul intact. That's what we're fighting for. And where possible, you help others do the same. So to be of service to this soul, service to the soul of others, and collectively of service to spirit, source. That's to me what I believe this is all about. That to me is at least what I believe my journey is. Anyway, just, food for thought. Like I said, nobody knows anything. But I'll be interested in anyone else has made these observations. I know many people that have made these observations, and it's talked about within certain circles, within the so-called part of the media, which is obviously, controlled like many other parts, that where people have different opinion, where people are awakened or awakening at this time, awakened to what's been going on for way too long, and awakened to actually what we are as conscious, soulful, sentient beings. Anyway, as you can hear, that's Molly snoring now. I missed that sound. Anyway, good to make a clip for you again. I hope it resonates with some of you, and I'll be interested in your views. Peace.